Hello everyone, welcome to this one-day webinar where we are going to make you understand that how you have to start preparing for IAS, what are the challenges that you will face and how we can help you in overcoming those challenges in easiest possible way, right? But before we start about talking about all these things, let's have an interaction with Mr. Pulkit, who has scored rank 26 this year in the IAS exam. Before this, he had the laurels of getting selected in Indian Engineering Services as well. So what better it will be to start a session with someone who has the best experience, something that comes through the horse's mouth to make you understand everything. Welcome, Pulkit sir.
Thank you very much, sir, for giving me this
we are very
opportunity to interact with the students.
happy to have you here with us. But the main thing is that most of the students are from South India, so they will be understanding much of English. Though few of them will be saying that Hindi mein boliye, but we will keep it in English only because we have most of the audience from South India.
No issues, sir.
Right, sir.
No
Thank you,
issues.
Ji. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, sir. So it's very great. In fact, I would like to share that I had been to South India, and that is a very good place to be in. I had been working in Bangalore for quite some time, so I had very good experience there. If possible.
Yes.
So starting with this, जैसे सर से मेरी थोड़ी बात हो रही थी, he was just telling me that most of the people in my audience, they are majorly second yearites or third yearites who are somewhere looking forward to go for the career opportunity. जैसे I hope most of you are coming from that background only, right? You are seeking somewhere कि what to do in life. Now that is a question. अब graduation के बाद क्या, right? This is some question that what to do. See, अभी तक till now you all had a structured. Before starting with this, I'll give a brief introduction about myself. This year I secured an AIR 26 in Civil Services examination, and this was my third attempt. So this is briefly about me. So I have some kind of authority that I can talk a little on this Civil Services examination also. लेकिन इस पे बात करने से पहले, लेकिन मैं before coming to this, I'll be first addressing that what could be the opportunities that you might be having, right? And what could be the basis of deciding that. अगर मैं इसकी बात करूं, so in that scenario, now what to do after graduation? This is the question. See, you all, if someone is sitting in this webinar, I am sure that they are concerned about a job scenario. वो अपनी job के लिए थोड़ा concerned है. तो जब आपको एक job pick up करनी है, right? There are many areas like me. I have personally have done jobs in various roles. लेकिन मेरे को कभी भी एक तरीके से I was not having a direction in that sense कि what job will be suitable for me. So in that sense, I'll give you a brief learning which my father had shared when I was having this doubt that whether to prepare for the civil services examination or not, or what should be an area in which I should seek a career. So in that regard, he gave me a pie model, not the apple pie, but just a pie model in which the P is for performance, I is for impact, and E is for the exposure. Now what this model suggests is that whenever you are seeking a career, जब भी आप एक career को seek करते हो, you should have these things coming into your aspect. आप सबसे पहले ये देखिए what are your capabilities. What are your capabilities and ability which will help you in terms of performing you on that job. That should be the criteria, right? जैसे ऐसा कभी नहीं होगा कि a commerce graduate can go for an engineering field job because you will not be able to perform because you are not having that kind of ability. Then impact. Now this impact is crucial. Therefore, this impact should be on the field in which you are working, as well as the impact on the society also becomes very important. See, what you are doing in any way, it will be having some kind of output, and that output will somehow will be affecting something what is happening around in that particular field, and in a subtle manner also in this society. तो आपको एक तरीके से आप कुछ भी कार्य करोगे उसका एक impact create हो रहा होगा, right? And the third thing is the exposure, the kind of exposure a particular job can give to you, right? जैसे आप किसी एक particular role में जाते हो तो आप उस job profile के अंदर in that particular job profile what kind of experience you might get, what kind of roles you might expect, what kind of responsibilities you might get, right? With that, you will get a significant exposure, and that exposure will definitely help you in the long run. So for me, the basis of deciding a career will be based on this PI model. I came to know about very late in my life, right? But somehow today I'm very thankful that now whatever decision I'm making, I'm having a kind of structured rational decision. तो अगर मैं इसकी बात करूं, right? So on these aspects, if you talk about civil services, there is rarely any job which can compete with civil services in terms of impact and exposure that a civil services job gives to you. देखो परफॉर्मेंस होता है आपका इनर एबिलिटी, ठीक है. अब ये आपका इंटरनल फैक्टर होता है, एंड दिस इज समथिंग व्हाट द इकोसिस्टम प्रोवाइड्स यू. ये आपको किसी भी फील्ड में डेवलप करना पड़ेगा. नाउ इट्स अप टू यू इन विच फील्ड यू वांट टू डेवलप. बेटर होगा आप उस फील्ड में डेवलप करें जहां पर आपको बहुत ज्यादा इंटरेस्ट आ रहा है, राइट. इफ यू आर हैविंग दिस काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स इन सिविल सर्विसेज एग्जामिनेशन, आप क्यों ना अपने आप को अपनी परफॉर्मेंस या एबिलिटी को इंप्रूव करने के लिए आप अपनी कैपेबिलिटी बढ़ाइए. You can improve your capability so that you can have the desired job that you aspire. So that is my first part of knowledge that I wanted to share with you. Now second aspect I'll be sharing with you is why you should be choosing a particular thing, right? देखो 3 basic questions होते हैं for anyone: why, how and what. See, the why is at the core of everything. Why I'm discussing this thing? क्योंकि generally होता क्या है, what I've seen when people start their preparation with civil services, ठीक है, उसके बाद एक टाइम के बाद they kind of become confused कि वो इस preparation को करे या ना करे. They kind of become demotivated. उनके अंदर वो intensity रहती नहीं है that they are able to keep themselves in the race. So in that scenario, if your why is strong, means your reasons are strong. अगर आपके reasons strong होते हैं, then you are able to have resilience and you can go ahead with what you are seeking. तो अगर आप कोई भी चीज करते हो, इनफैक्ट आप खुद सबने खुद रियलाइज करा होगा, you are somehow looking around these 3 set of questions why you should do it, right? And in fact, this I'm borrowing from certain book which I read recently, right? It is a book based on decision making जो मैंने recently अभी पढ़ी थी. Simon Sinek is the name of the author. उन्होंने ये philosophy यहाँ पे propagate करी थी, right? Now I will be taking this in the reference of civil services. और अगर आप how की बात करते हैं, ठीक है, now this how becomes कि आप उस चीज को pursue कैसे करेंगे. Now if you talk about सिविल सर्विसेज एग्जामिनेशन, अगर आप इसकी बात करें यहाँ पे सिविल सर्विसेज एग्जामिनेशन की, व्हाट के कंसर्न्स में आ जाता है कि जो आपकी रिक्वायरमेंट है उसके अलोन अलाइन होती हुई आप अपनी स्किल्स डेवलप करें. यू डेवलप दो स्किल्स विच आर रिक्वायर्ड और विच आर इन द नीड फॉर द थिंग दैट यू आर सीकिंग. For that, what is important? Firstly, you should know that what kind of things are required, right? For that, if you talk about the examination, 3 things are important. One is conceptual clarity. You should be having conceptual clarity. Then you should be able to recall. You should be able to reproduce things, right? So in order to achieve this, अगर आपको ये चीजें अचीव करनी है इसके अंदर, आपको रिक्वायरमेंट क्या होगी in terms of civil services? Then you will be requiring in some kind of a structured learning. देखो पढ़ते सब है, all of you are learning somehow or the other. But what becomes important here is structured learning. So in this structured learning, एक तरीके से structured learning में हम कई बार इशू ये आता है कि you are not able to identify what is the structured learning. जैसे मैं आपको briefly एक example दूं structured learning का. जैसे अगर मैं आपको brief में कोई example दूं कि what I will call as structured learning, जैसे आप example उठा लो, suppose you are analyzing the issues in agriculture. जैसे मान लो आप agriculture के issues को आपको analyze करना है, राइट? तो एक स्ट्रक्चर मैं आपको यहां पर देता हूं, हो सके तो आप उसको आगे भी यूज करना. Now what is this structure I will be sharing with you is, when you talk about agriculture, my analysis will be, I will be saying in the form of input, process and output. तो मैं इसको 3 तरीके से देखूंगा अपने एग्रीकल्चर को, राइट? तो ये एक तरीके से मेरे टॉपिक एग्रीकल्चर एज ए टॉपिक को एक स्ट्रक्चर्ड तरीके से मुझे चीजों को रिकॉल करने में हेल्प करेगा. नाउ व्हाट इज इनपुट इन दिस एस्पेक्ट? नाउ दिस इनपुट विल बी सीड, इरिगेशन, climate, right? The water facilities, etc., that is required for the agriculture practice to be carried out. Process में आपका आ जाएगा mechanization, crop rotation, right? Organic farming. तो आप किस kind की process use कर रहे हो, that also becomes part of agriculture. Then becomes output. Output के issues में आपके issues आ जाएंगे, issues like marketing, food processing, right? So this is something जो आपको एक तरीके से क्या करा मैंने आपको, in this I just give you a structure कि when you are thinking, जब आप इस तरीके से आप सोच रहे हो तो आपने एक स्ट्रक्चर तरीके से इसको प्लान आउट कर लिया कि अगर मुझे एग्रीकल्चर पे बात करनी है तो मैंने क्रॉप के सीड से लेकर उसके एक पर्टिकुलर पर्सन के प्लेट तक की मैंने जर्नी को कहीं ना कहीं एनालाइज कर लिया, राइट? सो दिस थिंग विल ऑलवेज हेल्प मी इन टर्म्स ऑफ अंडरस्टैंडिंग द टॉपिक ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर बेटर. सो दिस इज समथिंग व्हाट आई कॉल द स्ट्रक्चर्ड लर्निंग. तो आप एक तरीके से स्ट्रक्चर्ड लर्निंग में अगर आप चलते हो, दिस इज ओनली वन इंस्टेंस आई एम कोटिंग, एंड दिस स्ट्रक्चर्ड लर्निंग इफ यू आर हैविंग द राइट डायरेक्शन, अगर आपको सही तरीके से कोई गाइड करे तो आपको कहीं ना कहीं स्ट्रक्चर्ड लर्निंग आपको दिखाई देती है. और इसमें कहीं ना कहीं आपके मेंटर्स हो सकते हैं, दे माइट बी इन योर फॉर्म ऑफ पेरेंट्स, और इट माइट बी इन फॉर्म ऑफ योर सम रिलेटिव, और यू माइट बी हैविंग सम पीपल टू गाइड यू इन दिस रिगार्ड. तो यहाँ पर आपको इन स्ट्रक्चर्स का रोल काफी इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है. देखो व्हाट तो सबको क्लियर होता है. नाउ एज मेनी ऑफ यू आर सिटिंग हियर, यू ऑल आर हैविंग सम काइंड ऑफ क्लैरिटी कि आपको व्हाट के टर्म्स में ये पता है कि यू हैव टू प्रिपेयर दिस सिविल सर्विसेज. लेकिन ये दो क्वेश्चन बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाते हैं, व्हाई एंड हाउ. और ये व्हाई और हाउ, जैसे अगर मैं यूपीएससी की अगर बात करूं यहाँ पे, इफ आई टॉक यूपीएससी, ठीक है, व्हाई यूपीएससी सिविल सर्विसेज is seen as to be very prestigious examination, क्योंकि यहाँ पर आपके क्वेश्चन जनरली ओरिएंटेड होते हैं इन द फॉर्म ऑफ व्हाई एंड हाउ. और आप क्वेश्चंस उठा के देखोगे, they will be generally asking you what is the reason for a particular thing happening, right? Or why only this thing is happening, or what was the reason for a particular event to take place, right? तो एक why oriented questions होते हैं. दूसरे होते हैं how. अब how वाले फॉर्म में हो जाता है कि that something is happening and that thing will be affecting the other thing in what manner. तो यहाँ पर दोनों में आपको कहीं ना कहीं एक एनालिसिस चाहिए होता है, और ये एनालिसिस आपको हमेशा हेल्पफुल होता है इफ यू आर हैविंग सम काइंड ऑफ स्ट्रक्चर गोइंग इन योर माइंड. तो एक तरीके से जब आप इसकी बात करते हो, इफ यू टॉक इन टर्म्स ऑफ यूपीएससी, राइट, राइट नाउ यू ऑल आर स्टार्टिंग, आप एक अभी एक इनिशियल स्टेज पर हो, राइट? राइट नाउ आई कैन नॉट डिस्कस यू रिगार्डिंग व्हाट इज happening in the prelims or what is happening in the mains, but this is something I wanted to introduce you ki people say that the syllabus is very exhaustive or extensive, but if you are having the right structures in your mind running, जिस पे आप evolve करके आप काम कर सकते हो, it will get simplified, and if it will be very helpful for you if that is simplified. Now I'll just quote one instance here, like I had attended one of the mock interviews with Malhotra sir. In that he had given me a good insight into the structural learning, why it becomes important. So जैसे that time I was facing the issue regarding to understand the aspects regarding that why the farm protests are taking place in Punjab and Haryana more vis-a-vis the other areas. So this I am quoting from the time when I was preparing for the interview. So in that I happened to be one of the boards in which Raj Malhotra sir was there. तो उन्होंने मुझे एक insight दिया वहाँ पे कि see you have to also see it from the historical aspect, right? He gave me a very good historical insight into this, कि this region has been historically very active as an agrarian region, so that somehow added to the dimensions that I was having. वरना मेरा क्या हो रहा था, मैं बस ये देख रहा था कि छोटे फार्मर्स बड़े फार्मर इस तरीके से, right? Just a minute.
Hello, friends. And I hope you all understand that we always keep telling our students that this is not the time when you are in your class 9th or 10th that you start preparing. And if your parents are pushing you for this journey at the very start, it will be very difficult for you to sustain for long, right? So we appreciate that you have that zeal in you while you are in 9th or 10th But trust us, trust the toppers when they tell you that no, this is not the time to start. The best time to start for your preparation for IAS is when you are entering into your graduation. That means after class 12th. It will be too hard for you to sustain for such a long time. So as I always request my students to leave the session if you are in class 9, 10, 11 or 12, not to waste your time, and please focus and enjoy your life. Think about other options and keep IAS as your priority, but start journey after your class 12. Let me help Pulkit sir, because it will be very difficult for Pulkit sir to interact with students in this way, because obviously he is now a selected candidate. He has a very precious time and his insights are so very precious that we just cannot ask him such a random question which will make no sense to either you or to Pulkit sir, right? So the questions that should have been asked to make best use of this session would have been, sir, how to start the preparation? What should be the basic step? How important are the NCRTs? How important is to make notes? How to read newspapers? How to write answers? Sir, how to face the interview board? These are the questions that we expect from the serious students. And we do understand that at times some of the people under the fake name, under disguise of the some students' name, some of the other coachings, they do enter into these kind of webinars and ask very irrelevant, silly questions. That's all right. We will not entertain those kind of questions. But here, sir will take care of all those things which I have just elaborated. So we are going to disable the chat for a while so that sir can focus more on this. And in the meanwhile, my team will share the link for our Telegram channel and YouTube channel, on which we keep providing lot of quality content free of cost every day. So let's not waste time like this. Let's have a proper interaction with sir and have use of his expertise, his knowledge, his experience in a most fruitful manner. Sir.
Okay, fine. It's good that many of you commented in the chat box, so I could know about my audience, right? So if some of you are in the school, right? So my suggestion will be, there is no harm if you want to prepare for this, but have some orientation about it. I was not sure what is the exact audience that I'm addressing. If many of you are from the 9th or the 11th standard, so I'll suggest, right, you can think about the career opportunities right now also, but not take in that intensive manner. Utna intense mat banaiye. Don't take it with that much intensity. Take it in terms of enjoying your childhood, in terms of enjoying your school life, right? You can think about these things in your graduation years. Now I'll come to the those who are in the graduation. So I'm addressing somehow to the first part, when to start. See, starting in the school is quite early. Many of them do start in their 11th and 12th standard. That's good, right? If they have proper guidance, it's up to them. But generally what I've experienced is that people start their preparation in the graduation, and especially in the year second year or the third year. That's a very good time in terms of starting it, if you are going from that aspect, because that will help you in terms of relating your life with respect to whatever you are reading. तो अगर आप एक तरीके से ग्रेजुएशन के टाइम पर कुछ समय के बाद आप उसको स्टार्ट करें, why I'm saying about spending some sufficient time because your graduation years are also important for you, वो भी आपके लिए important हो जाते हैं, right? तो उस एस्पेक्ट से आप इसको सेकेंड या थर्ड ईयर के अराउंड स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं, if I talk about starting it. Now coming to the importance of NCRTs. See, if I talk about NCRTs, now NCRTs are books which are recommended by the government. Now what that is something which the government of India wants a student who is going at that particular age to know about. तो देखो एनसीईआरटी अगर मैं उस कंसेप्ट पे लेकर चलूं, दिस इज समथिंग व्हिच द गवर्नमेंट वांट्स यू टू रीड, एंड यूपीएससी एग्जामिनेशन इज अगेन अ गवर्नमेंट एग्जामिनेशन, सो यू आर एक्सपेक्टेड कि यू माइट बी checked on the concepts which are given the NCRTs. But at the same time, NCRT do not have that kind of concepts or holistic or the exhaustive concepts in depth कि they can cover all the elements comprehensively for a student who is around 22 to 23 years old or around 25 years. I'll take it as a median, right? एक 25 साल के स्टूडेंट के अंदर जो नॉलेज होनी चाहिए उसको कंप्लीटली एड्रेस कर भी नहीं पाती है. So what I am telling you is NCRTs are important from the part to understand what the is the requirement or what the government wants you to read, but at the same time they are not holistic also, because at what is the content in the NCRTs, it is just to introduce you to certain ideas. अगर आप देखें तो NCRTs काफी अच्छे से रिटर्न होती हैं, they are very well structured, but again you cannot rely wholly on the NCRTs, right? So that is addressing the second part. Now coming to the third part, how to make the notes. अगर मैं नोट मेकिंग की बात यहाँ पर करूँ, देखो नोट मेकिंग के लिए फर्स्ट यू शुड अंडरस्टैंड द आइडिया, राइट? अगर आप कोई भी रीडिंग करते हो, जब तक आपको एक आइडिया वो अंडरस्टैंड नहीं होता है, इट इज वेरी, आई वोंट सजेस्ट यू टू गो फॉर नोट मेकिंग. तो माय सजेशन विल बी, फर्स्ट रीडिंग शुड बी अबाउट टेकिंग एन आइडिया अबाउट व्हाट द कंटेंट इज अबाउट. इसका एक तरीका, एक बहुत अच्छा तरीका मैंने रीड करा था कि फर्स्ट थिंग शुड बी दैट यू जस्ट स्कैन थ्रू द इंडेक्स देखिए, एक चैप्टर पे जाके आप उसके सब टॉपिक्स को आइडेंटिफाई करिए. Then first read out the questions given at the end of that particular chapter, and then start reading the chapter again. In the first reading, you can underline important areas, important aspects. Then in the second reading, you can start making notes. तो आप second reading पे वहाँ note making कर सकते हैं, right? So this will be my suggestion on my part, right? How you can go about this particular thing. Note making के लिए देखो, note making का एस्पेक्ट क्या है, यू आर ट्राइंग टू समहाउ शॉर्टन द कंटेंट दैट यू आर रीडिंग. उसमें से आप एक सिग्निफिकेंट आइडिया ही रिटेन करना चाहते हैं, एंड दिस इज फ्रॉम द एस्पेक्ट ऑफ रिकॉलिंग एंड रिप्रोड्यूसिंग समथिंग. अगर आपसे कोई बाद में कुछ उसके रिगार्डिंग पूछे, आपका जो टेक्स्ट है, दैट रीडिंग पार्ट इज टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज द कंसेप्ट, एंड मेकिंग नोट्स इज अबाउट यू हैव सफिशिएंट shortened up notes so that you are able to recall or repeat or reproduce whatever you have read. तो आपका नोट मेकिंग भी उसी एस्पेक्ट से होना चाहिए. तो देखो नोट मेकिंग का सबसे पहला आपका ऑब्जेक्टिव होना चाहिए कि आप उसको छोटा करिए. जैसे अगर आपका एक चैप्टर आपको दिया गया है, तो आप उसको छोटा करके, शॉर्टन करके आप उसको इतना बना लीजिए कि आपको कम बर्डन लगे. जैसे मैं आपको अगर ये बोलूं कि आपको एक किताब आधे घंटे में पढ़नी है, तो दैट कुड बी अ बर्डन फॉर यू. बट एट द सेम टाइम इफ आई से टू यू दैट यू हैव टू फिनिश 2 पेजेस इन हाफ एन आवर, वो आपको बर्डनसम नहीं लगेगा. तो ये नोट मेकिंग वहां से इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाती है. अब नोट मेकिंग करनी कैसी है, फॉर दैट आप सेग्रीगेट करके चलो अपने नोट्स को भी, राइट? जैसे आप, मैं क्या करता था, आई विल जस्ट टेक अ A4 शीट. इन फर्स्ट रीडिंग और द सेकंड रीडिंग आई विल जस्ट नोट डाउन द इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट्स. फिर उसके बाद आई विल जस्ट सेग्रीगेट दोस नोट्स इनटू द सब थीम्स. उन सब टॉपिक्स में उसको आप रिलेट करके लिख लीजिए, ताकि आपका एक स्ट्रक्चर्ड लर्निंग वहां पर हो, राइट? So these are some of the 3 basic preliminary ideas which I was addressing here, right? And it was a very good interaction with you in this aspect. I'm not very sure ki what is the audience to which I am addressing, but it was a very good experience for me to somehow relate or convey to you some of the concepts. My learning will be at this stage, you should be deciding about what to do on the basis of the 3 parameters. आपके पास इससे ज्यादा पैरामीटर भी हो सकते हैं, but these 3 parameters will usually help you in terms of identifying your performance, impact and exposure, right? Then जब आप कुछ भी करते हो, identify your why and how. They are the most crucial aspect of answering anything. किसी भी चीज को अगर आपको एड्रेस करना है, तो आपको उसका why and how जरूर पता होना चाहिए, जिसके तहत मैंने आपको बताया कि आप एक स्ट्रक्चर लर्निंग का तरीका देख सकते हैं. And that I also mentioned you regarding कि हाउ यू कैन गो अबाउट दोस स्ट्रक्चर्ड लर्निंग एस्पेक्ट्स. तो आप स्ट्रक्चर्ड लर्निंग में हो सकता है कि आप इस डायमेंशन से देख रहे हो, लेकिन कई बार आपको, जैसे मैंने आपको कोट किया यहाँ पे, you can also analyze from a different perspective also. Like I quoted regarding the example for the issue of the farmer issue from an historical aspect, जहाँ पे मैंने आपको ये element रखा कि historically this area is having high number of people going into these practices. So even though, as I told you about that, sir gave me an insight that even though you might be having industries and service sector coming up in Haryana and Punjab, but still they are first generation migrants. वहाँ पे उनके कहीं ना कहीं रूट्स अभी भी विलेजेस से जुड़े हैं, राइट? यही तो मैं इनसाइट आपसे डिस्कस कर रहा था कि इवन पीपल फ्रॉम कनाडा एंड ऑल दैट दे आर कमिंग बैक टू आवर कंट्री एंड दे आर समहाउ पार्टिसिपेटिंग इन द प्रोटेस्ट. कारण क्या है कि यहाँ पर आपका कल्चरल और हिस्टोरिकल एस्पेक्ट बिकम्स इंपॉर्टेंट, बिकॉज हिस्टोरिकली दिस इज एन एरिया वेयर आपका यहाँ पे प्रोपोर्शन काफी हाई था. फर्स्ट जनरेशन माइग्रेंट्स है बट उनके रूट्स उससे जुड़े हुए हैं, सो समहाउ दे आर आल्सो रिलेटेड टू इट, राइट? तो इस तरीके से आपको जो स्ट्रक्चर होते हैं इस टाइप के, कि सोशल एस्पेक्ट देखो, कल्चरल एस्पेक्ट देखो, आप उसका इकोनॉमिक डायमेंशन देखो, वो भी आपको हेल्पफुल करते हैं किसी भी इशू को हाईलाइट करने के लिए. एंड द लास्ट जो एक प्रिलिमिनरी क्वेश्चन जो आते हैं आपके दिमाग में, राइट, व्हेन टू स्टार्ट, हाउ इंपॉर्टेंट आर एनसीईआरटीज, दिस आई विल क्लासिफाई इनटू द preliminary questions for any aspirant, right? I hope many of you are from that background only, तो इनको मैंने आपको एड्रेस करा. And at the end of this I like to just say few things, right? My own ABCD for life, I'll just like to share it, right? Whatever you do, focus on these three things, right? Attitude, your belief system, आपका उसके अंदर बिलीफ होना चाहिए, क्यूरियोसिटी and dedication. Whatever you want to pursue, if you make it as your ABCD for your life, definitely you will not be facing major problems. हाँ, hurdle आएंगी, फिर भी आप इन्हीं पे restrict करके you will be able to overcome, right? So it was very great to interact with you guys, and I'll look forward for such interactions also in future if it's possible, right? Again, thank you very much. Do take something out of the interaction that we had. I'll be also very grateful if any of you can get the direction from our discussion. Thank you.
So guys, Raj sir is going to continue in a few minutes. Please be with us, stay with us, and the webinar shall begin soon.
Hello everyone. So finally we are here, and yes, I understand that you have so many questions in your mind before you take your final decision, and this is not very simple, not very easy a thing to start with. So I will be giving you a proper understanding of every step of this exam if you are a beginner. Why we always ask the toppers to first come and talk to students? Because obviously, yes, you get some sort of motivation that yes, people who have cleared the exam, they have some experience, they know that what we can contribute, how we can help, to what an extent we can be helpful in their journey, in their selection. So that gives you a trust factor, right? So students, now I will be taking up all the doubts that usually crop up in the mind of the beginner, and then one by one all your doubts will be automatically evaporating. There is no need to type things here. I am standing here in front of you with an experience of more than 22 years. So let me have the chance, give me this opportunity to take your doubts without you asking them, so that you can then trust more that yes, there is someone who understands the needs of the exam and who can then guide us properly. So let me disable the chat here for proper understanding of the class for everyone. And then I will once again tell all of you that we have a Telegram group in which every day morning we share lot of quality content for current affairs from various sources, be it the Hindu, the Tribune, or whatnot, right? The Hindu, the Express, PIB, and many more sources. Then we have a YouTube channel on which we share a lot of quality content free of cost. So these two things are highly recommended for all the attendees to join: the YouTube channel and the Telegram group. You will keep getting lot of quality content every day, and that too totally free of cost. So we have shared the links here, the YouTube channel and the Telegram group. Do join it, and you will be surprised that somebody is giving so much of the quality content so regularly, and that too completely free of cost. So this is for you as a gift for being part of this session. And now those who are going to stay with us till the end, we have many more gifts for you to keep you fully satisfied, to keep you rewarded for your thinking only that yes, you want to start this journey. And at the very outset, at the very onset, let me tell you one thing very clearly: coaching or no coaching makes no difference. If you have that determination, if you have that mindset that yes, I want to become an IAS, nobody, mind it, nobody can ever stop you. If you have that determination, if you have that dedication, coaching or no coaching will never make a difference. I've seen thousands of people clearing this exam without any coaching. Trust me, not all of them are from engineering background, and many of them are not from IITs. Few are doctors, few are commerce graduates, few are arts graduates, few are law graduates. So most of the subjects have the same scope. You know why we find more engineers? Because of the level of dedication that they have become accustomed to. Now, if you show the same determination, same dedication, trust me, nobody will stop you. Fine. So now let's start with the things. Today we are here to discuss few important things with you. For example, that what kind of things are there in the mind of the students when they start this journey. So when we start this journey, very frequent question that comes to our mind: what is the age limit? Till what time I can appear? How many attempts are there? What is the educational qualification required for this exam? And other such kind of questions. So let me tell you something. The educational qualification is bachelor's degree, and UPSC has nowhere asked us that we should be either science graduates or commerce graduates or arts graduate. For them, it is graduation from any recognized university in India. Trust me for one more thing. They do not ask minimum qualifying marks. They don't want the students with 60% or 50% to appear for this exam. If you are a graduate, you are a student who can appear for, or a candidate who can appear for this exam. Now, when we talk about number of attempts and age, for general category, maximum age is 32. I hope we all know that we start at the age of 21. And when we start at the age of 21, see, for general category, the maximum age is 32 and we can give 6 attempts. If we belong to OBC category, in that case, the maximum age is 35 and the number of attempts is 9. If we are from SC or ST category, the age is 37 and the attempts are unlimited up to the age of 37, starting from 21. And if we are from specially abled category, in that case, maximum age is 42 and there is no limit on the attempts. Knowing that there are so many attempts available, even in general category, 6 attempts, it's not less. 1, 2, or 3, that's optimum. Most of the students do qualify this exam in the 2nd or the 3rd attempt. in the first attempt, why students are not able to qualify, why it is so difficult. It is not that nobody qualifies in the first attempt. There are many cases in which students have qualified in the first attempt, and that too with the best ranks. The best example will always remain with us in the name of Tina Dabi ma'am. What she did in her first attempt at the age of 21, she ended up being all India rank 1. Now how could she do it, right? And now to her sister, she repeated the tradition in the family, right? Ria Dabi ma'am, she scored rank 15 this year. So how is it possible? How could two sisters repeat the same thing? There is some plan in it. There is a secret of that success. Now what is that secret? If you know it, then anybody can know it. If you try it, then anybody can try it. If they can do it, why can't you do it? Now let me tell you the plan. See, usually what we do, we start the preparation either in the final year of our graduation, be it BA, BCom, BSc, or we start it afterwards, like after completing it, right? When we are about to complete our graduation, that means when we are in the final year of graduation or when we have already completed it. Now we are almost 21 plus, and then we start the journey. When we start the journey, to complete the entire syllabus of IAS or UPSC exam for all the 3 stages, pre, mains, and then your personality test. In pre, you prepare GS and Csat. For mains, you prepare the GS component, 4 papers, essay exam, optional subject, then languages, and then your personality test. Don't you think that you are trying to do something which is almost impossible if you are planning to do the entire syllabus in 1 year? Now, what you are trying to do is that, yes, in 12 months, I will complete everything and then I will give my first attempt and I will qualify. Now, to complete the syllabus, very genuinely, we need bare minimum 10 months. Nothing less than these 10 months can ever be suffice to complete the entire syllabus religiously. That means if I have 12 months with me, 10 months are going only for the preparation. And then if I have to complete the entire syllabus, GS pre plus mains, Csat, essay paper, and optional subject, plus the languages, if I have to complete all this in 10 months, it is never possible for any one of us to complete the syllabus if we are giving anything less than 14 hours a day. Trust me for this. I am saying this with more than 20 years of experience of teaching for this exam. And before that, I had been preparing for this exam. So anything less than 14 hours in a single year, if I give, it is not possible to complete the syllabus. Now, because we try to do the most difficult task, so it is almost impossible to qualify in this exam in the very first attempt. Now, those who want or those who wish to qualify in the first attempt, the easiest method is if I start with my first year of graduation, be it 3 or 4 years of graduation. But if I am doing my MBBS, which is a 5-year program, in that case, I should not start in the first year. Then I should start in the second year. Maximum 4 and minimum 3 years of preparation is something that can bring the desired result in first attempt. Now, how it can happen? How it is possible for all of us to do it in a magical way? Now, let me convey that magical plan to you. See, if I am in my first year of graduation, be it 3 or 4 years, and I start my preparation immediately with the start of my academic year. Now, what I can do? In the first year, I can start with my general studies and give those 10 months to general studies. And along with this, I am not doing anything else. No optional subject, no essay paper, nothing of the sorts, right? No Csat and nothing. I am dedicatedly doing only and only GS. If I give 3 hours every day to my GS class or self-study, whatever I want to do, it can be through a class, it can be through self-study, right? I will give you a plan for self-study too. I will give you a detailed book list too. I will give you everything if you want to go for self-study. It is not important that you should always go for some commercial professional coaching. Coaching is only desirable. It is not mandatory. It is not necessary. It can ease the thing, but it is not a guarantee that you will get selected. Otherwise, everyone who is going for professional coaching will get selected. Obviously, yes, this will always remain true that more students who get selected are having some sort of commercial coaching. Agreed. But what is the reason they are going for? To save the time, to save their energy, to do the things a little faster. But it doesn't mean that through self-study you cannot do it. The easiest example here to quote, see, everyone want to excel in life. Let's take an example. We see many people playing cricket or football or any sport in our locality. We find people, they play beautiful. At times we always admire them, and we even go to the extent of saying he plays exactly like, let's say, Rahul Dravid, or we say he plays like Kohli, or he plays like Dhoni. But why are they not there where they people have reached? So see, they had someone who guided them. They had someone who had been training them in a very professional manner, telling them that when, where, how you have to showcase your talent, right? It is not that on a street you have to showcase your talent. It is on the selection ground where you have to showcase your talent. So a guide, a mentor is very important in every field of life. And those mentors, they can be from the family, they can be from a close friend circle, they can be from a near acquaintance. It is not always necessary that such a guide, such a mentor comes through only professional coaching. When the toppers say that we did it through self-study, there is no denying the fact. Yes, they can do it through self-study. There is no need of professional coaching for everyone. But let's take an example. If already one of my brother, my sister, one of my relative, one of my close family friend, they have been selected. Now, once they have been selected, they are always there to give me that direction, to support me, to tell me where I'm missing the things, to tell me how I can improve. So it is not about just professional coaching, but yes, it is always true that we need someone to guide us. Even if you want to be not like Arjun, but like Eklavya, even Eklavya needed someone to whom he can look forward to and then understand the things, right? It is not that Eklavya became Eklavya without knowing, without looking at how Dronacharya as a guru was trying to teach to the Arjuna or to other characters. So yes, we need someone. Now it is up to you. If you get someone like that in your family, in your friend circle, in your acquaintance circle, excellent. But in case you have no one, then do think, do imagine that there is a situation where you need someone to help you. There is a situation where you need someone to guide you and you are reluctant. Then obviously, yes, you will be just moving around and beating the bush and not finding the desired result. Fine. So in case you study 3 hours a day, either in a class or through self-study, and then revise the same thing for at least 1.5 hours, making it 4.5 hours, right? And then start reading your current affairs from day one. I don't know why people believe that they ask questions only from last 1 year. No, the panorama is so wide, so vast that they can ask questions for 2.5 years as well. So there have been a trend that they have asked questions of things in news 30 months before the exam. So why to take a chance now that we have started preparation at the right time when we are in our first year? Why not to start with current affairs from day one? Who is stopping us? What are we going to lose if we start with current affairs? Let's take an example. Today, if it is the withdrawal of America from Afghanistan, let's say 2 years from now, there are some new challenges developing, but the root of those new challenges that will develop after 2 years will be traced back to the American withdrawal from Afghanistan in 2021. So someone who will be writing his mains in 2023 or 2024 will have to come back to 2021 to trace the roots that why America left Afghanistan and why the situation is Afghanistan turned either good or bad and what impact it had on the region. So why not to start with your current affairs from today itself? Who is stopping us? Somebody who is not guiding us properly, somebody who is telling us, no, current affairs, you can start around 1 year before the exam. They are not guiding us. They are misguiding us. Stay away from those people. You have to understand that the exam is a very logical, scientific exam. They try to understand, do you understand? Do you relate with the roots of the events or not? So you have to start your current affair from day one. Now that you have started from day one, you can afford to give 1 hour to your current affairs. I will guide you how you can do this. And that's why I have shared these links of the Telegram group, of the YouTube channel, where we every day share current affairs free of cost for all the students, so that those who cannot afford coaching, at least they are not falling behind the students who can afford these coachings, so that they can also get the right direction, at least in their current affairs. Agreed, we cannot give everything for free. Obvious reason is right? Everything cannot be free, but to the extent to which we can help our students with free courses, free content, free material, it is always there on these YouTube channel, that the YouTube channel of Raj Malhotra IAS. The link has been shared in the chat box, and our Telegram group. Just subscribe to it to the extent possible. We obviously love to help students, right? Most of you must be knowing that we even went on to the extent of teaching entire political science optional free of cost, and we are not like others. We will not remove it. It will always stay there for you guys whenever you want to access it, right? So yes, now it is 3 hours of your self-study or class for GS, 1.5 hour of your self-study, and then 1 hour for your current affairs, making it 5.5 hours. Now imagine somebody trying to do it in 1 year is giving 14 hours, and you are giving 5.5 hours for 3 years. That means you are giving 16.5 hours in comparison to this person in 1 year. And this is a cumulative effort. You will not be doing the same for less. Let's say for the first 6 months of your journey, you are giving 5.5 months. For next 6 months, you give 6.5 hours. For next 6 months, you give 7.5 hours. For next 6 months, you give 8.5 hours. For next 6 months, you give 9.5 hours. And in the last semester, you are giving 10.5 hours. Now imagine how many hours you are giving as compared to the person who is giving 14.5 hours in 1 year. You perhaps are giving 19 hours for 1 year, something close to this, 18 to 19 hours. So obviously, yes, you have given much more effort. You have done much more hard work as compared to them. So you always stand a better chance to qualify in the first attempt as compared to this person. Now that's the only trick. That's the only magic. And it has always worked for those who have always trusted this method, who have always started at an early stage, who have always given this kind of a momentum to their preparation. It is not possible to study 14 hours every day, but yes, it is possible to increase it to 10.5 hours for 6 months. And I hope you understand, yes, it is doable. Now there is a plan. Now there is a direction. Now the need is to take that step. Life will never change unless you try to change it, right? Things will never be easy unless you give your effort to make them comparatively easier for you. Life is something that is in your hands. Destiny is a very important thing. It's a very important word that we always listen to. But remember the other quote, which our elders have always been telling us: God helps those who help themselves. God helps those who help themselves. Easy. So start with that self-help approach. I will prepare for IAS. I will give my 100% best. I will qualify. And God willing, I am starting it today. But when you say, I will start it one day, that one day will never come. We always think about, I will do this one day. I will go there one day. I will meet this person one day. We never get a chance. When we say, that today I'm going to go to meet my friend. Today is the day when I'm going to meet my cousin. Today is the day when I'm going to go for shopping. Today is the day when I want to eat pizza. Today is the day when I'm going to temple. Today is the day I'm starting my journey for IAS preparation. And God willing, I will not leave any stone unturned. I'm ready to pay all the price for it. Yes, my dream is IAS. I'm not going to sleep unless this dream comes true for me. Now, that is the approach that I want in you. That is how you can prepare for this exam and qualify. Trust me, people like you have always qualified. There are people who have with like humanities subjects, political science major, they have done honors in political science, have scored very good ranks, including rank 1. So who said that only engineers qualify? No, friends, no, that's not truth. That's the myth. And these kind of myth always discourage the students from qualifying in this exam, not qualifying, even appearing for this exam. So start your journey with confidence. Start your journey with that determination. I have decided I'm going to give my best. This is my commitment because this is my dream. This is my success. And I will write my success story with my sweat and my blood. Friends, nobody can stop you. Trust me, I'm not faking for anyone. This is how I have seen people qualifying this exam. This is how I've seen people scoring exceptionally good marks, right? So you have to just start the journey with this confidence. Coming back to the things like basic questions that you would like us to tell you. So people usually ask, what are the stages? So a quick recall the stages. And meanwhile, those who have not yet joined the Telegram and the YouTube channel, trust me, this is free of cost through and through. It has been free of cost for last so many years. It will remain free of cost for all the time to come. Just subscribe to it and you will get phenomenal knowledge every day, complimentary from our side, right? And at the end of the session, I will be sharing lot many freebies for you, lot many gifts for you. To stay with us till the end. Now, friends, when you ask about the stages, that's very simple. Stage 1 is prelim exam, which is multiple choice question paper. Yes, there is 1/3 negative marking. There are two papers in only prelim stage. One is general studies, other is Csat. I will tell you the detail of these two as well in a while from now. Then we have the mains exam, which is stage 2, where we have 9 papers in all. And friends, in these 9 papers, we have to write subjectively, and the total marks are 1750. And then comes stage 3, the personality test or the interview round, for which we appear for 275 marks. So the total is 2025 marks, out of which we get our final selection. And friends, stage 1 is just a screening test. The marks you get in your prelim exam, they are not counted in the next stages. The marks of mains and interview decide that what is your rank, whether you are selected or not. Now, when I talk about the prelim exam syllabus, right? When I talk about this syllabus, so paper 1, that is GS. Now, what is the broad syllabus? They talk about current affairs of national and international importance. Have they said 1 year or 2 year? They have not mentioned it anywhere. Then how can you presume it? How can anybody misguide you that 1 year of current affair is sufficient? They haven't mentioned it. And current affair has a root to it. It can start from 2 years behind or 3 years ago. Then how can you start it from here all of a sudden? Then there is history of India and Indian national movement. Indian national movement, more importantly, 1857 to 1947. But before this, ancient India, medieval India, and early modern India. Right? That means from 1707, death of Aurangzeb, up to 1857's revolt. Then we have Indian and world geography, that includes physical, social, and economic geography. Then we have geography of India and world. Then there is Indian polity and governance, constitution, political system, panchayati raj, public policy, rights issues. Now, I will also tell you important books for all these subjects. One by one, I will be giving you answers to all those questions that you have in your mind, and you will be more relieved, more relaxed, more confident that without asking a single question, we have got answer to most of the questions that we had in our mind before we came for this webinar. Then there is economic and social development, sustainable development, poverty, inclusion, demographics, social sector initiatives. Then there is general issues on environmental ecology, biodiversity, climate change that do not require subject specialization. This is very important to keep in mind. And then we have general science. This is broad syllabus of paper 1. And once we are done with the webinar today, I will share this slide in the Telegram group that we have already shared the links for. And in that Telegram group, you can access all the documents from today's session and from other documents that we keep sharing for our students to get them free of cost, so that they can always get the maximum benefit from our side. Now, coming to paper 2, that is Csat. Friends, remember, this is a qualifying exam. It's just a qualifying exam. We have to score 33% marks. That means out of 200, we have to score 66 marks. So what is the broad syllabus? We have comprehension. We have interpersonal skills, including the communication skills. Then we have logical reasoning and analytical ability, decision making and problem solving, mental ability, basic numeracy up to class 10 level, data interpretation, graphs, tables, data sufficiency, that to class 10 level. So it is not difficult if you are not a science graduates, if you have not done your mathematics beyond class 10. The only thing required is little practice. And if you do that little practice for 3 to 4 months, that will be more than sufficient. You are not to score 200 on 200. You are not required even to score 50%. You have to score only 66 marks, 33% marks. And that is doable without much tension, without much botheration. But yes, do practice for 3 to 4 months before your prelim. Now, you have to understand that every stage of the exam has different needs, different requirements. You have to plan your strategy accordingly. You just cannot start with Csat. You must not start with optional. Why? Because when you start with general studies, that start building up the momentum. That gives you a fair idea that which subject will be more fascinating for you to be taken as your optional subject, unless you have already very clear perception that this subject is going to be my optional subject, right? So this is the broad syllabus. Friends, in the prelim exam, there is negative marking. It is 1/3. So you have to be very careful that you are not falling in the trap of those tricky questions that can take away your marks. So make sure that you attempt those questions for which you are 100% sure. You can learn the art of elimination. That is not very difficult. You can learn the art of elimination. We can help you understand that as well today. But yes, these are the broad parts of your prelim exam. Then when we move on to the mains part, there is compulsory paper of languages, right? English and one regional language. Now, what is that regional language? You can have Punjabi, you can go for Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam, Kannada. You can go for any of the languages, be it Santhali, Bodo, any language which is there in the Constitution, Schedule 8 of the Constitution. If it is a recognized language, you can appear in that language, Sanskrit, Urdu, whichever you think about. Then we have essay paper. We have to write 2 essays. And when we talk about these 2 essays, friends, the essay exam is for 250 marks. This compulsory paper is only qualifying. We have to just pass it. There is no need to go for a kill in this. Essays for 250. We have to write 2 essays for 125 marks each. And then there is general studies paper, paper 1, 2, 3, 4. Each paper worth 250. That means GS alone is 1000 marks. Then we choose one optional subject. And trust me, every optional is very good. Those who are commercially only selling a specific option will misguide you that option A or option B or option C, they are more like scoring, they are better, they are this, they are that. Trust me, there is no such option which is 100% secure. If in option A, 100 students get qualified, trust me, there are about 600, 500 students who could not qualify opting the same subject. Why? Because they were misled by some wrong consideration. If there is one such option in which only 3 people qualified, go back and check. There were only 5 or 6 people who qualified. If there were 6 people who qualified, 3 people who then there were 6 people who appeared, and then there were 3 people who qualified. That means the success rate of that particular option is 50%. And if there are 600 people who appeared and only 60 people qualified, the success rate is 10%. So what we have to understand is that every option is safe, every option is scoring. The only consideration is that whether I have proper interest in the subject or not. If I am opting a subject by some other consideration, but for my own interest, my own understanding, then obviously I am opting the subject not to qualify the exam, but to fail. And that is the only thing that makes many students not qualify for this exam, right? So there are 2 papers of the same subject. It's not 2 different subjects, one subject divided into 2 papers, and then it is for 500 marks. Now see, 250 for your essay paper, 1000 for your GS papers, and 500 for your optional paper. That makes it 1750, the total marks. When I talk about these 4 papers of GS, so in paper 1, we have Indian heritage and culture, history and geography of the world and society. So this is history, geography and society. Paper 2, we have governance, constitution, polity, social justice, international relations. So this is more of a politically oriented paper, be it politics, constitution, or the international relations of our country. Then paper 3, we have technology, economic development, biodiversity, environment, security, and disaster management. So here the trend is towards sciences, environment, and economics, including disaster management and internal security. And last, paper 4 is for ethics and integrity. That is basically very important paper. In this paper, when you score good marks, there is a great chance that you are going to be in the top ranking category of the candidates. So friends, this is broad syllabus for pre and mains. Now, when we talk about what are the books to be read, trust me, you have to divide the books into 3 categories. What are these 3 categories? These 3 are NCRTs. This is first. Then popular books or conventional books which everyone knows. For example, for constitution, let's read Lakshmikant. For modern India, let's go for Spectrum, Rajiv Ahir. For economics, let's go for Ramesh Singh sir's book. For environment, Shankar IAS. For this culture, Nitin Singhania sir. Guys, trust me, everyone is reading the same books, but everyone is not getting selected. Everyone is not getting the same rank. There is need to understand that where you have to modify yourself. Then for quality edition, there are newspapers, there are magazines, and there are some unconventional books too. Now I will give you an example and an idea to understand in a better manner, right? I will give you an idea and a plan to start your journey. Let's always start with NCRTs. I give you an example here so that you are better placed to understand the concept. If I read Lakshmikant through and through, I read every page, every line, every word 100 times from Lakshmikant, still there is a chance that in my pre itself there is a question which I am not familiar with. For example, they ask a question that how we can compare Karl Marx ideas and Gandhiji's ideas on society or class war or state. Nowhere in Lakshmikant sir's book we will find it, but yes, they are given in NCRTs. So let's start with NCRTs. Complete your NCRTs from class 6 to 12. But the only problem here which the students find the problem is which all NCRTs, which all subjects, which all topics, and is there any interlinking of the topics or not? So let me give you a very pleasant example here. Friends, we all understand that we can read history, geography, economics, science, right, and polity from NCRTs. How many of us think about the idea that if I pick up some of the specific topics of 11th or 12th class psychology book, that can help me in my paper 4 ethics? How many of us try to understand a concept that from 11th and 12th sociology book, we can pick up some of the selective topics that can help us in GS paper 1 for our society? Very few students know the fact that there is a specific NCRT in class 9 and 10 only and only on disaster management. So because we are not even knowing the proper list of NCRTs, we are not very sure of all the topics of NCRTs. That is why most of the time we get a challenge that how to complete NCRTs. And because we do not know the proper definition of NCRTs, before completing them, we jump to the second stage, right? Before completing the proper NCRTs, we jump to the second stage. When the foundation itself is weak, how can we be sure of making a proper edifice, proper structure on that weak foundation? And here is the problem. The students do not realize, they do not identify this problem, and they strictly ignoring NCRT, straight away jump to what? They straight away jump to secondary sources without having a strong base, proper foundation. Now to help you lay that foundation, at Raj IAS, we have prepared a very, very well-crafted, articulated, and scientifically designed course for all of you. And trust me when I tell you what this course is all about. Let me explain this course to all of us. In this course of NCRT, we give 75 days of live classes to our students. Live classes 5 to 8 p.m. every day. 5 to 8 p.m. every day, Monday to Saturday. And every Sunday, we give you a test for you to see that what new you have learned and how confident you are now to understand the basics of all the topics. Along with this, we support you with current affairs and we keep you under strict surveillance, right? So we give you 5-6 days live class, which is recorded as well. In case you miss a class or if you are a working professional, you can get access to the recorded lectures. In last 1 year, we have taught more than 3,500 students live and almost 2,500 plus students recorded, right? So we have already crossed the mark of 6,000 plus students for these interactive NCRT classes. What all we cover in these 75 days? We start your base from 6th to 12th class history, and that too ancient, medieval, modern, post-independence and world history. Ancient India, medieval India, modern India, post-independence and world history. Then we do economics, we do geography, we cover environment, then we come to polity, and then we cover international relations. Then we cover ethics from psychology and some other books. Then we try cover your society from sociology book. We cover the book of disaster management. Nobody in India can so very comprehensively cover the NCRTs, and that too in 75 days, and that too at a phenomenally reasonable price of 7,500 including GST. But as it always happens, we have a tradition that those who trust our classes, those who trust in Raj IAS, we are starting this batch from Monday, that is 4th of October, tomorrow evening 5 p.m. Now there is a very simple idea. If case you trust us, join this course and we give this same course to you in 6,000 rupees. I would request Akshar sir, if possible, share the link for the students to join these classes by paying only 6,000 rupees today. By tomorrow evening 4 p.m. we will keep the price at 6,000, and if you join it at 6,000 you get the value of 7,500 worth the course in only 6,000 rupees. What all you will get? Not just the live classes or the recorded classes. Obviously, yes, this is your right. You get the live and recorded classes. We provide you PDF notes too. And when we talk about PDF notes, I will give you a sample. We will give you a demo class. After this session, we'll give you a demo class that how we teach, why we are different, why so many students trust us, why they take this course, how this course can change your journey, right? Yes, we will give you a demonstration for that too. So you get live and recorded classes, you get PDF notes, you get tests, and you get current affairs support from us. Once the course is over in 75 days, once the course is over, no, we are not going to leave your hand. For next 75 days, you will continue to get access to the recorded lectures for your revisions, so that in these days you can revise the concepts that we have taught you. Total, you get access to the course for 150 days. That means 5 months. And if in these 5 months you are not able to cover NCRTs, stop preparing for IAS, right? That's a very humble but a very honest advice from a teacher. If in 5 months time you are not able to complete these NCRTs, then trust us, you are not able to prepare for this exam, leave it. But yes, if you are done with this journey is for you. You are going to be a successful candidate for this exam. And trust us, the way we are going to teach you, nobody can teach you. Let me give you an example for that as well. Now, when I talk about these things, that how you can make the notes from NCRTs, how you can make notes from NCRTs, if I have to tell you that, friends, very simple. The easiest way of making notes is that, yes, if I pick up my NCRT of class 6, let's say I'm talking about history. In class 6, when I pick up my NCRT, that is, the book's name is Our Past Part 1, right? In this Our Past Part 1, we have a chapter on Buddhism. Then I pick up class 12th book. The name of the book is Themes in Indian History, Part 1. I again find a chapter on Buddhism. Then I pick up 11th class book on Fine Arts, where I find a chapter on Buddhist art and architecture. If I read these three chapters together at the same time, and I make a note, which we have already done for you, something like this we have already done for you. We read the three chapters together, made a proper note. Now your entire topic of Buddhism from class 6, 11 and 12, not just the book of history, but the book of fine arts has been taken care of. Now that's the way you should have made your notes. And that is how difficult it is to complete the notes when you have to jump from one book to other, knowing that which chapter is to be synced with what other chapter. Now, when you read geography, in geography, you talk about agriculture. In economics too, you have to talk about agriculture, but how to integrate two things. In your world history, you will be talking about many of the events of Cold War. And then in your international relation, again, you will be talking about Cold War, how to integrate the things, how to make precise notes, to keep them very, professionally up to the mark, how to keep them into that frame where they are not exceeding this much of pages. That is what we specialize in. That is how we can teach you. That is how we can help you make proper notes. That is how we can help you understand every concept with lot more clarity in lesser time, and that too at a very reasonable price. 6,000 worth this course. Nobody can offer, nobody can specialize the way we have. In the last 2 years, we have evolved this process. Nobody else can claim that they have taught 6,000 plus students. So that is what we specialize in. That is where we can create that magic in your journey towards your success. So those who want to have a demonstration that how we teach can stay back. Those who trust can go and enroll. And I would again request Akshar sir, if possible, to share the link to pay for the course. Right? It has been shared in the WhatsApp groups as well. It will be shared in the chat in a while. So those who have that faith, that trust to know that yes, Raj IAS is one such top solution that can always help us. They can start the registration, because by the time the webinar will be over, perhaps the seats will be over. And this has been experienced in last good 30 webinars, that whenever we finish the webinar, the seats are over. So I am giving you 5 minutes time, this 5 minutes window to stay on, focus on your dream, think about your success, enroll in the course. Meanwhile, we'll start the demonstration, and then you can see that how differently we teach. It will not precisely be 5 minutes, it will be less than 5 minutes. So you can have a glass of water, you can go and get relieved if you are feeling some pressure, and come back and join the class. Now, this is how we teach. This is how we interact with our students in a 3 hours class every day. When we are teaching you guys, we will give you a small break for 2-3 minutes so that you can go to washroom, you can have a glass of water, and come back with the proper focus and ask your parents to get a cup of tea for you. In these online classes, we will be there to support you, guide you, hold your hand, make your journey much easier, much more organized, much more planned, and making sure that our collective efforts bring best result for you and for us, right? So after 2 or 3 minutes, I will start with that demonstration, that how we gonna teach you guys. Thank you. All right, everyone. So we have shared the link for the payment as well. And already people have started the process to get enrolled, and 7 registration have been confirmed by my team. And that's a wonderful kind of a response. Thank you, everyone. And we have again shared the links for YouTube and Telegram, so that those who have yet not joined, though today itself we have an increase of more than 2,800 students on our YouTube and a good about 1,500 students in our Telegram group. Those who have not joined it, do join it. When I say free, we share a lot of content free. But when you expect everything coming free to your way, that is something living in a fool's paradise. Because if everything happens to be free, then you have to start that barter system of economies where we'll go back into the ancient times, right? Nobody will do everything for free for anyone. Not even you are going to join these services for doing the charity for this society. You will, after becoming IAS, will be expecting a good salary for you at least. For the honest people, at least salary is something for which they are working, right? So we are not asking anything like bribe or black money. We are asking for something like a very genuine cost for the effort that we will make for you, the notes that we will prepare for you, the tests that we will prepare for you, the live classes that we will take care, and everything comes at a cost. For the YouTube videos, for the Zoom links that we share, they do not come free. We do pay from our pocket for that. To every teacher we pay salary. So you have to trust it that everything comes at a cost. This webinar is not free for me. It is free for you today. I have to bear the cost for it. So trust me, if you want to be a successful person in life, stop asking for things for free. To the maximum possible extent to which we can help our students free, we are doing it. You must appreciate and just don't clog yourself into thinking about everything coming for free when you are not going to do anything for free for anyone. So friends, here is a very valuable insight to you from our side, that how differently we are going to teach NCRTs to you. So friends, from NCRTs, when we talk about paper 4 ethics, and then many other papers like paper 2, where they ask questions about the political ideas, right? And even in your essay paper, where you can quote some of the great personalities of history. So here is one example: thinkers and their philosophies. So when we talk about these thinkers and their philosophies, first name, obviously, yes, yesterday was the birthday of the father of the nation. So who else can be but for Mahatma Gandhi ji? So friends, for ideas of Mahatma Gandhi ji, we can go and dig into the political science NCRTs, history NCRTs, and then many other books of NCRTs in which his ideas are scattered. So if we try bring everything at one place, then we get a lot of information about Mahatma Gandhi ji as a philosopher, as a freedom fighter, and then we can even go to the extent of writing a proper essay on Mahatma Gandhi ji. So this is how we have tried to make notes for our students from various NCRTs in which the ideas of Mahatma Gandhi ji have been covered. Known as the father of Indian nation, we all know this is class 6 perhaps, an Indian lawyer, anti-colonial, nationalist, social activist, writer, most influential leader in Indian freedom struggle, spread the principles of ahimsa, satyagraha, Swaraj, among others. Now, you know one thing, when we talk about this idea of Swaraj that Gandhiji talks about, how different it is from the idea of Swaraj that Tilak talks about or many other freedom fighter talks about. When others talk about the idea of Swaraj, it means self-rule. Self-rule, that we want to get rid of the British rule in India, and people of India should have that self-rule, that is democracy, right? Now, this is what others believe. But how different was the idea of Swaraj when it comes to the idea of Mahatma Gandhi ji? He says that before we start thinking about self-rule, we have to think about Swaraj as an idea of rule over self. If every individual thinks about Swaraj as an idea of rule over self, then everyone can control his own greed, his own aggression, his own greed and aggression. That leads to conflict and corruption in society. If we all have greed, that greed will lead to corruption. If we have aggression, that aggression will lead to conflict in society. And in such a society, the state as an agency will always be used for the elimination of this conflict or greed through force. That means in this society, the mechanism of conflict resolution will be through punishment and not through reform. But in case we start the process with a reformative idea of rule over self, where everyone is able to regulate himself, neither he has greed that leads to corruption, nor he is the one who is aggressive that leads to conflict in a society, then we can have minimum government to run the system, which then ensure maximum governance. That means if people are self-regulated, then the state can perform minimum duties, giving maximum freedom and liberty to the individual, and only then the idea of Swaraj as self-rule becomes meaningful. Otherwise, what is the use of having self-rule when you will again be controlled by an outside agency called state, when again the people who rule over us, be it our own people, they keep regulations on us, they keep restrictions on us, right? Then what is the fun of having that kind of freedom? So for Gandhiji, the first thing about Swaraj is not self-rule, but rule over self. And Gandhiji says, if we get Swaraj in this method, that first we aim for rule over self, and then we come to self-rule, then Swaraj will not end as only Swaraj. Swaraj will end as Suraj. That means good governance. And that should be the aim of this freedom struggle. We are not fighting to get rid of the British. We are fighting for making India as a better society with better individuals, with better system of governance. And we are not just aiming at transfer of power from British hands to Indian hands. Now, here I will open up the chat box to understand that could you understand, relate with this idea that I explained, and could you understand that how differently even the NCRTs can be read? So the chat box is open, guys. Now, this is what exactly I want my students to understand, that it is not just the rogue learning of NCRTs, that yes, I have read NCRTs. Have you even understood the concept? Now, can you use it in your answer writing? Can you use it in your essay writing? This is what exactly is this course all about. And in the meanwhile, Dikshant sir just confirmed me that 38 students have enrolled through the link that we shared. So I will stop the chat here and we will share the link of payment once again for the students who could now understand that how differently at Raj IAS, the concepts will be made clear, how very important and beautiful this course is for them to start their journey. And we are very sorry, extremely sorry that no, we do not teach in Hindi medium. Our classes are only and only in English medium. And more importantly, post-COVID, when we went online, yes, we have hundreds and thousands of students coming from all the states of South who join us. We have thousands of students from Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Andhra, Telangana. And because we have now all India reach, despite being originally a very regional kind of a center known for Punjab, known in Punjab, more importantly for Punjab PCS, but post the COVID time and on the track when we had such a tremendous result in last 4 or 5 years for IAS exam, now people have come to know about us. So the name is growing with the support of students like you, and our name is emerging on the map of India, and Chandigarh is now emerging as a main center for UPSC preparation. Students preferring not just going to Delhi, rather many students living in Delhi have joined our online courses. So keeping in mind the pan-India reach that graciously God gave us, we have to teach only and only in English, right? But yes, while in the class, 99% class is only and only in English, but 1% we do speak little bit of Hindi for those students who want to interact in the regional language. And I hope the people from South, they even enjoy when we speak a little bit of Hindi and Punjabi in class. At times they appreciate, sir, we like the accent in which you speak Punjabi differently. Last time when I was teaching modern India and I spoke about Bhagat Singh as not Bhagat Singh, but as Bhagat Singh. So students were more happy and they were asking me to repeat it again, the way differently I pronounced his name. So that's the only thing that we do in our class. So yes, this is how we teach. This is how we interlink the things. Now tell me, is it just modern India? No. Is it just governance? No. It is about ethics and personalities too. So in one class, talking about one small topic, we will be covering paper 1, paper 2, and paper 4. And this is how the process will evolve. This is how we talk about laying that strong foundation, where then you can think of if you want to join the full course with us or not, or in case you want to now go for self-study, that we have laid that strong foundation for you. So that's the most important thing that we are doing for the students. It is helpful in 2 ways. One, when you complete this 75 days course, you have your own foundation laid, which is now very strong, very scientifically made. Now you can think of going for complete self-study. Two, if you have realized that yes, this course meant so much value to me, I have seen all the teachers of this institute who teach and then who going to teach me in the advanced course. Now I can blindly trust this institute. Unlike other institutions who showcase only their main teachers, one or two teachers at max, we will show you every teacher. If someone is teaching geography with us, the same teacher will be teaching you in NCRT batch. If somebody is teaching ethics with us, the same teacher will be teaching ethics to you in NCRT batch. So you will get a chance to see every teacher. Then you can easily have that faith with us, and you can take that leap of faith where you can join that full course with us. And when you join that full course with us, we reduce the amount of payment that you are giving us today. We will reduce this from our complete fees. So when you talk about this is very important to understand that the moment someone joins my NCRT course, you become my dear student. When you become my dear student, how can I not give you a proper strategy, not give you a proper plan? So the moment you join it, we keep regular interactive sessions with you where we plan strategies for you, that this is the time you should plan this thing through self-study or through coaching. And then we go to the extent of individual one-on-one sessions with every student, so that we can make their personalized timetable, that if you are doing your graduation or you are working professional, this is the time that you have, this is how you have to manage your time, this much time you should give to this particular thing, and so on, so forth. So we will give you one-on-one guidance, we will give you group guidance, we will give you classes, and that too all in these 100 days or 150 days. We will be taking care of you as we are nurturing you for your and our collective success. Now, this is what we are different. This is how we are different. This is why people trust us. So by far 74 students have registered, and this is one of the most phenomenal kind of a response in the last so many sessions, that 74 students have already paid the fees before we could give proper demonstration. This was just a small kind of a thing that I wanted to share with you. Now, talking about Gandhiji's seven social sins. Now, if you now read these seven social sins given by Gandhiji, and then you will better relate with the idea what I was trying to tell you. Look at this: wealth without work. Now, that is something Gandhiji calls as corruption. Pleasure without conscience, corruption, social corruption. If this is economic or ethical corruption, this is social corruption. Knowledge without character, personality-based corruption. Commerce without morality, economic as well as ethical corruption. Science without humanity, again, human culture, human consciousness, human ethics. Worship without sacrifice, and politics without principles. So when we relate these ideas with ideas of Swaraj, now we can write a proper, better answer, which can get us much better marks as compared to others. Right? This is how we will be teaching you in the regular classes. This is how we will be guiding you, that how you have to extract the best things from where. And instead of you going back, reading all those books, you will get these notes in PDF. So there is no need for you to flip through different books. See, I am reading Gandhiji from political science book, or I am reading Gandhiji from history book. No need for you to do all this. We have already done this for you. This is a sample note for you only, that these kind of notes you will be getting in your classes. And this will help you save your time, save your energy, focus more on understanding and then revising the things for better conceptual clarity and for a very strong foundation, after which your main course or your self-study will become much easier, much more meaningful, and much more result oriented. And that's great. Now that 100 students have registered, that's something exceptionally phenomenal. We have never expected such a tremendous response in such a short span of time. Thank you, Dikshant sir, for confirming this. And continuing from here, see, now people ask, sir, how to make diagrams, how to make flowcharts. In your notes itself, these flowcharts, these diagrams will be provided for your better understanding. Those mind maps, flowcharts, diagrams, pie charts, Venn diagrams, where what is required, we will provide you with that, right? The notes will be such a beautiful thing. I did not tell at the start because I wanted the non-serious students to first leave the class. For the serious students, the idea is more valuable. Now, we are not just restricting ourselves to the normal NCRTs. If we are studying history, and in history, we have to talk about South India history, let's say Sangam age or Vijayanagara Empire or the Bhakti movement in South India. So we will go to the Tamil Nadu board books as well. We will extract important facts from Tamil Nadu board books. We will not restrict our notes only to basic NCRTs. We will add much more value to it. And then the task is such a horrendous task that the team works day and night to make these notes, and it saves at least nothing less than 1 full year of your hard work, your labor. And by paying 6,000, you get all these notes, and the notes are not sufficient, single-handedly not sufficient, unless you have that clarity of thought through the regular class, interactive class, where we talk with you, we take up your doubts, we keep doubt sessions, we discuss in the class, we take up doubts in the class, we keep separate doubt sessions. We have understood the needs of students. We know how to interact with them. We know how to remove their doubts. We know how to give them that confidence that yes, my topic is now complete. So everything has been already taken care of. Then when we talk about Mahatma Gandhi, we should know about Nelson Mandela, and he can be one of the case studies. He can help us write better answers in our ethics paper. He can be very helpful to quote in our essay paper, right? And then in the pre, there can be some very basic questions like who wrote the book Long Walk to Freedom? What is the meaning of apartheid? So everything we have already taken care of, so that we can provide you the best of the best classes, best of the best study material, state of the art test series, to give you that faith, that confidence that yes, this IAS is not just a dream. Now it is a dream come true for us. So those who have now understood that how we are going to teach, how we are going to share our notes with you, how we are going to help you grow in confidence, grow in stature, and live your dream successfully, here is your chance. Grab the opportunity. It is not to miss one. And trust me, you will never repent by joining this course. Even if you are not aiming for IAS, friends, let me tell you, for CDS, for CAPF, for banking service exams, these basic NCRTs are very important. They are basically a part of any and every competitive exam that you will ever think about in your life. So we have shared the links again. Those 107 students, lucky students who have already joined, congratulations. See you tomorrow in the class. Those who are still thinking, waiting, trust me, destiny never knock on the door twice. Open the door, grab the opportunity, join the course, see how we change your perception, see how we give you that confidence, see how we change your thinking and help you become a learned person in 75 days. Best of luck. God bless you all. Jai Hind.